Tell me this, what sense does it make if I were to call my family down for dinner if I have not even gone grocery shopping, let alone prepared the meal? There are certain steps that have to take place. I can't just call the family down if I haven't prepared the meal, and I can't even start preparing the meal if I have not even gone grocery shopping yet. There is an order that we have to follow. I know sometimes we want to skip steps. We want to just go straight for dessert as soon as we wake up, but there is an order of operations because remember, I'm a teacher, not a speaker. Now, when it comes to math, I remember in grade school, we learned something known as PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Do y'all remember Aunt Sally? PEMDAS was an order of operations when we're solving an algebraic expression or we're trying to solve a problem. Remember, the P stood for parentheses, the E for exponents, and then we went multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. You don't have to be a math whiz to remember if you did not follow that in order, if you did not follow that order of operations, you would not get the same outcome as the teacher or the other students in your class. Once again, it wouldn't make sense for my wife to put curlers in her hair or to flat iron her hair and it looks all straight, or she has the rollers in there and then she decides to step into the shower and get the shampoo and the conditioner. There is a certain order that we have to go through in order for us to reach our desired results. And it is that crucial. Sometimes we can't skip a step. Sometimes we have to do it in order. I was talking to somebody yesterday and they were baking a cake and they were saying something about the top of their cake started to sink down after they baked it. And I at first suggested the temperature, then they said the temperature that they had it on. Once again, it's a process. Even baking is a process. And yes, everything maybe is supposed to go together to make the cake, but it has to go in a specific order. In science, I remember being taught this little phrase, do what you oughta, pour acid into water. Let me say it again, do what you oughta, pour acid into water. And what we were learning was how to dilute an acid. And what happens is, if we need to dilute an acid, we're mixing acid and water together. But there's an order that it has to mix. Do what you oughta, pour acid into water. We cannot pour water into acid. Well, you can, but there's so much energy that's going to be released. There's going to be an exothermic reaction that could cause that acid, especially if it's a stronger acid, it could cause the acid to splash up in your face and burn up your skin. So yes, we are going to dilute the acid by mixing it with water. However, do what you oughta, pour acid into water. We cannot pour water into acid. In life, sometimes we have to crawl before we walk. It would be amazing if we were born and could just stand up on our own too and just start walking. However, we build up our chest, we build up our lungs, and we get our blood flowing through our bodies. Our bones develop and fuse and get stronger when we start by crawling, and eventually we go up to walking and running. There is an order. There is a PEMDAS in life. There's an order of operation. In science, we even use the scientific method, which could be broken down into 5 or 7 steps in terms of solving a problem. We cannot just jump to the conclusion. No pun intended. We can't just jump to the conclusion. Before we reach our conclusion, we have to hypothesize. We have to establish what are going to be the controls in the experiment. We have to make our observations. We have to do our experiment. We have to gather data. There's certain steps that have to take place before we draw our conclusions. When it comes to life, when it comes to success, when it comes to whatever we want to accomplish, whatever we want to attain, oftentimes there are prerequisites. Those prerequisites could be pain, it could be struggle, it could be opposition, but just know that that is a part of our operation. That is a part of our process. In order to reach success at a high level, just know it's gonna take that energy, it's gonna take that catalyst to get that reaction going. Just know that we're gonna have to deal with opposition and struggle, but once again, that's a part of the process. The more opposition we have, the stronger we become, and the more weight we're able to lift, the more we're able to move, the more we're able to pull or push or accomplish. Remember PEMDAS. Remember Aunt Sally. Also remember, I'm a teacher, not a speaker. I want you to have an amazing day.